Hey, howdy, how's it going? I want to apologize to all of you. Doesn't matter if you're subscribed or not, or this is like your first video that you've ever seen of me. This apology would absolutely make no sense. But I made 2 videos. One of them was a very long rant. The other one was also me talking just about the update, I believe, or just, you know, the certain bit of patch notes that came out and certain things that they've been doing for the game. And I want it to be clear. This is not a hate video. This is informational on Helldivers 2. In the video that I had a like 30-minute rant, I basically had said a lot of things, a lot of mumbo jumbo, a lot of yapping, I'm not gonna lie. 30 minutes is a lot of time, especially for it to not be very constructive. It was just kind of me pressing record and then just talking and then being like, all right, I'm done. To be honest, I was a little frustrated. There were certain points that I made where I do believe that some of my points that I had made to be a little bit, you know, truthful in a way. And after a bit, you know, I mentioned turrets or some other things. And to be honest, it was just me kind of just wanting to talk a little bit. There were a lot of comments. I'm not going to show them because I'm too lazy to go and grab all of them. There were a lot. And you could probably find it yourself. Regardless of them saying skill issue, there were some people saying that I had to upgrade my ship, and that would have made playing on the harder difficulties easier. Yes, slightly, though, I will say, very slightly. I've looked at every single upgrade that you can possibly get, and it makes it so that call-in times are faster, and that's pretty much it. There are a couple things as well that I'm not listing off right now, but they're not as useful as people make it seem. Like, yes, ship modules are very important, but like, they don't feel as viable as they should be. Now, I've written down a bit of bullet points in comparison to my last one, so I'm going to try to lay this down for everyone, okay? For the people on my last video, they watched a good 10 minutes, okay? So they were wanting to hear me out. I'm guessing that you are also wanting to hear me out. The game is fun, okay? Helldivers 2 is a fun game. It's enjoyable. It can be very fun. The thing that's starting to happen, though, is not that it's not for me, or it's not for everyone. After a little bit of time, it becomes a bit of a fetch quest. Certain things like that. It becomes a bit of a chore. It's not as enjoyable, okay? That doesn't affect everyone. That doesn't happen for everyone. I have started to notice it, though. It's not been very apparent, but I've started to notice it. I do believe that a way to fix this would be adding more and more different mission types. They've already done this with like the silos. We would just need a couple more every now and again. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that with mission types. The reason why the game was not as enjoyable for a good bit, I played today. They came out with a patch. As of me talking about it today, I'm recording this. This video is coming out the next day, so the patch came out yesterday. If you're watching this right at the day that it came out, and basically they had addressed that they changed spawns and fixed some things. They, you know, whatever, and it's great. Honestly, the game plays a little bit better, and yeah, something that I noticed was that I did bring up a little bit of solo play and certain things like that in my past video. And a lot of people really wanted to bite that in the nose, saying it's a team game, you shouldn't be able to do it solo or something like that. All right, hear me out. From like level 1 to 5 on difficulty, you can solo it. Depends on the mission, might be a little bit more difficult, but you can solo it. When you go from like, let's say roughly 6 to 9, if you're playing solo, you might as well just not try. Not saying that you can't do it, but the risk versus reward isn't really that good. And now, I'm not saying that that shouldn't be a problem. This is a team game. I have said this before. It is a team game. It makes sense that you do need people to do this. But something that I've noticed is when you play online, people are really stupid. Like, in a very polite way, people are very dumb. You have a lot of people who try to stand their ground on like a level 8 mission, and they're trying to kill everything, and it's like, what are you doing? We need to just run away. That there's no point to fighting, and that is something that I understood quite quickly, okay? Once I had made a couple of my like montage videos with my friends, like the funny gameplay, after a bit I started to learn a little bit more about the game, started to like watch more videos and certain things like that. I understood that like you just have to run away, and that part being there of like, okay, they're just gonna keep coming, you have to run, you should run, is all right, that's fine, okay? You run away, break line of sight, you go behind rocks, whatever, take cover, certain things, call an orbital behind you and run away. The thing that I've noticed, and I'll show clips of it, I've taken a few clips of me playing the past few days. You have a lot of people who just stand around, a lot of people who are just waiting, and they're just sitting there. It's very obnoxious. I probably already said that, but it's just, I don't get it. I do not understand the whole people not understanding to run away. I've had people in missions ask me to group up with them when it does not viably make sense to stay together. Something that I've noticed is when you're playing like it's team-based, and by team-based I mean you have like a team of 4, you're on the hardest difficulty. Your best bet is either going 2 and 2 or just all 4 across the place, because it just spreads out the amount of enemies that can spawn and less attention is on you, and it's very helpful. And the thing for me is that, like, I'll play with randoms, it's whatever, but man, people are dumb. People are like genuinely dumb. They see that something's called in, they look at it, and then they or they don't even look at it and they still walk towards it, but they see the big red light. You can't fix that, you know, there's no issue with that. There was a couple comments of me, I had brought up in that other video as well, of me talking about voting to kick and the host having the permissions to kick. There are a bunch of people who have different opinions about this, and that's completely okay. I had said that nothing will really change if you add a vote to kick system, because if you have a group of 2 and one of them is the host, no one's ever going to get kicked from the game. So yeah, I believe the host having the power is just the best way to do it. If you don't want to deal with people, you just host. If you can't get people to join, you just got to get friends. I've had plenty of circumstances where I load up a mission, people never end up joining. I'll do an SOS once I'm in the mission because I've waited for about 10 minutes for people to join. I do an SOS, I see no one joins, and then I'll try to find the clip, I'll show it here. I played the entire mission out and someone last minute joined. I believe 2 people might have joined and one of them left right away, but one join landed, I died, and he couldn't respawn me because of the new field that they've added. It's a modifier that basically means that there's like this big blue aura field that if you're in it, it scrambles everything, and I couldn't spawn in. All I needed was to grab my samples and my stuff and go to the thing and like exfil or whatever, just go to the dropship and leave. I did not want to deal with it, and he joined last second. I don't believe that someone like that should be able to benefit off of me doing all of that work, so I kicked him. And if he got all of the like credits and all those things for joining for that split second, that's fine, I don't really fucking care. But he's out of there, and I get to now finish the mission. I did. I might show it. I might not have shown it. I don't know if I clipped it, but I did finish the mission with all of those things. I had a ton of samples and shit like that, and I was just, there's no point for me waiting for someone who just joined to finally like get their bearings. But regardless of opinion, regardless of, you know, really anything when it comes to this game, the most important thing for people to understand is that it is just a game. Excuse me. It is just a game. I've seen a lot of people get very angry at the fact that I had said that the game isn't as enjoyable, or that certain, like, basically saying some of my opinions about it. And one thing as well when it comes to opinions is I change my mind all the time. I'll say something and then like 20 minutes later be like, I don't know why I said that. I don't care. When I record a lot of these videos, I will forget everything that I said 10 seconds ago. It happens. And so I guess if you are someone watching this trying to hate, or you're someone who's watched my past couple videos and you're wanting to hate again, honestly, go for it. The interaction's nice, I guess. But yeah, I would say that there's a bit of, like, when it comes to seeing the hate comments and certain things like that, that if you don't really step out of that realm of the comments, gaming, all of that thing, you just kind of get sucked into it. It's very unhealthy. So yeah, I'd say in a way I'm making a compromise, because there are things that I say that are stupid, but everyone says them. And there's a lot of people who are like, oh, you just don't have the experience. Or some people judging the gameplay. That was also one thing. People were judging that gameplay a lot for the clips that I was showing in that 30-minute long video. And I'm like, dude, that's when I just started playing. That's when I was having fun. And like, it was no patches had come out. And then after the patches is when I stopped having fun. But in between that time, I had gained my bearings. Like, I understood the game more. I understood what to do. I just don't show those clips because it was me and my friends just like completing mission after mission, not really doing anything. Most of those videos are like funny moments, because why the hell, like, I don't enjoy being that sort of informational person when you can get that information from plenty of other people. One thing that I do like the idea of people having to learn it on their own when it comes to certain enemies or things like that. I do like that there are ways that you can use multiple different items on, you know, certain missions and things like that. I do enjoy that, but I do believe that there are a few things that should be reworked a little, kind of not revamped or anything, but just like kind of change it around, mess with it a bit. The guard rover dog thing, whatever it's called, the backpack that floats, the little drone that shoots a laser. There have been numerous times where that thing has lit me up and I am like nowhere near enemies or things like that. And it's like, why do I have to stand next to that person in order to not be affected? I do think that they should have some sort of thing built so that it doesn't shoot like teammates. specifically because there's no control over it. At least I've never used it unless you can control it and take it out of, like, you can call it in, call it out, whatever. It has a battery life or something. Just make it so that it doesn't shoot people, because it's a very easy death that can be quickly avoided if it was just that whole thing was removed. Because I don't know, there's a difference between me calling in a stratagem and like my friend runs at it and I didn't like say it to him and he blows up. That's different. The rover just does whatever the fuck it wants. So like, it's like, oh well, you shouldn't be on all those enemies. It's like, well, they just randomly all jumped on me. Especially for bug missions, there's a lot that just jump to you, something that I believe to be very frustrating. I don't know if anyone else has this issue. Is just the bugs that slow you down. I know there's names for all of them, I just don't really care, but the ones that like poison, slow you down, and make you run extremely slow. Why is that the case? Why is that ability able to be consistently stacked on top of itself so that when it hits you, you are slowed, it hits you again, it hits you again, it hits you again, and you die? These things like two-tap you now, and they're like tiny-ass bugs. I mean, granted, you can two-tap them, but like, come on. I've also had a few experiences with certain weapons just like not even hitting. As an example, the arc thrower is a very big prime example of this. The arc thrower has this issue of you fully charge it up and shoot it, and all the energy just dissipates and it does not come in contact with anything that you're looking at. I fucking hate that. Very obnoxious because it does take an extremely large amount of time to generate. I don't know what the fuck they could do there, but to be honest, it's a little frustrating. But yeah, solo play should be hard. It should be very difficult. It's a team-based game, but I do believe that there should be some sort of system or stratagems that can be called in besides smokes and stuff like that and having to stealth, where you can call an example like a dummy stratagem or guy that draws attention from you and all of the bugs go towards that, or all of the robots fight towards that. Maybe not all of them, but a good amount, like a certain quantity. That would benefit solo play, make it a little bit easier, make it so that constantly is refilling, make it like an orbital. There are a few things that they can do, but one thing that I before I leave it off that I want to make clear is that this game is a good game. It is very fun, and I do apologize for having said and hurting some people's feelings or angering them by saying that it's not as enjoyable as it used to be. And one thing as well, the railgun being nerfed wasn't really that big of a deal, and the breaker being nerfed wasn't really that big of a deal. My point that I failed to acknowledge was that that update, or that patch that nerfed those, silently added things to the game that ruined it slightly, like things spawning in greater quantities for no reason. The more that they patch it, the more they update it, it'll feel better, I believe. Let's hope that they don't randomly just decide you just can't live anymore. It's like a gaseous planet, you can only be there for 5 seconds or something. That'd be stupid, but hopefully you guys accept this apology. And if you do want to see more videos of me talking about this game or certain things about it, or other games, or whatever, it doesn't really matter, like or comment. You don't have to do both. Pick and choose whichever one's your favorite. And yeah, once again, I apologize. Hope you guys have a great night, great day, great week, great month, great whole rest of the year. Doesn't really matter when it is. Hope that it's great though for you guys. See ya.